7 o'clock. This is the Breezy Point City Council. The date is August 7th, 2017. I will call this meeting to order, and the first item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next order of business is our consent calendar. You have before you the council minutes from July 3rd, 2017, and you also have the approval of claims totaling $128,294.90, which includes electronic checks 1858E through 1860E and 1879E, paper checks 133646 through 133659, 133662, 133664 through 133679, 133682 through 133718. Is there anybody that would like anything taken off the consent calendar and discussed separately? Councilman Maroney?
No.
Councilman Mitchell?
No.
Councilman Ball?
No.
Councilman Bacher?
No, sir.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar as written.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next item of business is the open forum. Anybody wishing to have business or to speak to the city council may do so at this point. Please come forward to the microphone, state your name and address, and you may speak to us. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Dwayne Wisco. I live Ottawa Trail,
Okay.
and the neighbor behind my house who purchased 19 acres behind the house, and they put new vent,
Okay.
a wire vent, metal, steel, and I'm concerned that when you look out, all you see is silver, metal, steel. And it's not, it's not pretty to see, to look at the vent.
Okay.
It's not open anymore. It's closed.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? Is
Yes.
that the Highview Campground properties?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they purchased last fall, sometime last year. And they put the new vent and they cleaned the trees. And they had a survey in that area, 19 acres. I have heard all the neighbors are not very happy about the vent. But I looked at the rules. All you have on these rules is 68 inches height of the vent. That's the only rule that you have in your ordinance. My question is, would it be possible to add in different kind of materials instead of steel, metal, more like a nature, like a wood? It's look pretty, you know what I'm saying? I'm wondering if you could reach out the height. It is really high? Because the high you can't see what's out there. That's all.
Okay. Maybe I can address it as far as if we did change the ordinance, okay, it wouldn't affect what's there right now, because what is there right now is compliant with our ordinance. I was aware that they purchased that property and that they had cleared it out and put a fence around it. However, we have had no information as to what they're going to do with that property that they have purchased. As of right now, we don't have any applications or anything in requesting any change to any of their conditional use permits or anything like that. But as far as the fence goes, it's their property. They have the right to fence it in. and they are compliant with our existing fence. I can understand where you're coming from. It's where you used to have trees and forest, now you have a chain link fence. And that's, that's probably not most desirable from what you're seeing. However, they are in their rights to do something like that.
Okay,
I appreciate you coming forward.
thank you.
Yes?
I have a question.
Sure.
Have you talked to them at all about it?
Say that again?
Have you talked to them about it at all?
The owner? The
Yes.
campground? No.
Okay.
No, I have not.
You might want to talk to them. They might take that into consideration
Okay,
with your neighbors.
okay,
Yeah, because that would be a good thing to do, to just build that relationship between you and the campground. And you could tell them that, hey, we're abutting your property. We used to see forest and now we see chain link fence. Is there anything you could do to make it a little more aesthetically pleasing to us?
okay,
That would help,
Okay.
from the standpoint of the city, there's not a lot we can do because it's already in there in compliance with the existing ordinance.
I understand.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Dan Lucas. I am from Minnetonka, Minnesota, and I'm here this evening on my first address formally about a piece of property that we have up here in the Breezy Point area. And it is just off of Highway 11. It is just less than 1,000 feet into what's called Sun Valley Lane. And we'd like to look into a building permit for a nice place to live, to bring our kids, to bring our grandkids. 50 years ago, I grew up here in Breezy Point learning how to swim. Haven't been back much since. My mother used to do a lot of work for the owners way back when from the Hopkins House era, and it's time to come home up here and have some fun. And what we want to do is see what it takes for us to progress, to see if we can utilize this property, to enjoy it, to improve it. We've had some voiced concerns as we have visited City Hall on a few occasions. No, we can't. There's an access concern. Road to property, is it wide enough? Is it durable enough? Is it safety? There are liabilities. We really don't waiver for anyone. We could have to check with engineering. We're going to have to look with roads. Somebody's on vacation. We'll have to do a feasibility report, maybe a study, a review, a cost analysis, petition all of the neighbors, special assessments. I'm about ready to run for the hills. I wanted to come up here to enjoy it, and I don't really want to bring the city right down the road right away. The city will come soon enough. Improvements will come soon enough. I thought this would be nice family enjoyment. Wanted to see if there's an avenue for us to get together to get this permit or make some adjustments, and I know that you can't bend for everybody and every request, but maybe the feasibility report, maybe the road is solid, the accessibility is good. It's already being minimally maintained, minimally plowed. There's garbage trucks going down. There's a residence on it. There's already an improvement. It's been said to be in better condition than many of the improved roads. It doesn't have loose gravel. It doesn't have potholes. It doesn't have washouts. It's been stable for 60 years. It's probably been driven on by dump trucks, plow trucks, garbage trucks, and it's as strong as can be. We don't want to change it. We don't want to improve it. We don't want to petition half the neighbors down there and make special assessments in blacktop. That's not what we're looking for it for. We'd like to just leave it alone. And maybe simple enough, that little sheet of paper that says 15 roads, minimum improved roads, no construction, 300 feet back, 400 feet back, 500 feet back. Maybe this one on the list could just say 800 feet back, and all would be well. So I'm going to leave this with you tonight. I know my time is limited. You can pass it around, stay in touch, stay in contact, or tell me what else I have to do to pursue or look further into this.
Okay.
But I would appreciate your help
Let
on
me
that.
ask a couple questions.
Sure.
Joe, this is a minimum maintenance road?
Correct.
Okay. And is there a large number of tax forfeit properties on it?
No, I think there's only one at the end.
Okay. As far as, well, first off, I'll say, by policy, we do not issue building permits for minimum maintenance roads, okay? And that has been a standing policy here for quite a few years. The path would be, we would have to improve that road, and then we could issue a building permit for it. As far as what it would take to improve that road up to standard, so that we can, get the access down there. And a lot of those things probably all have been reiterated to you in various little bits and pieces. But that's primarily the crux of the matter, is we need to have it up to standard so that it will be able to handle the traffic for a road. And that would take, assessing the cost of putting in that road. And that's where it would stand right now, is we would need to actually do that road. We don't have any plans to do that for quite a while. However,
Okay.
you could petition with the other owners on that road to have it accelerated, and then we could do that. But it would take a petition from all of the property owners on that road. The fact that there's only one tax forfeit, we could probably work around that. But that's where it would stand right now.
If they don't want that road improved, if they don't want all of the traffic and they don't want the extra expenses, where does that leave it?
Right now, I'm also going back to, there's already a house built back there?
In the first part, yes.
Okay.
That's why it's 300 feet back. It's the minimum maintenance road at that point.
Oh, okay.
There is another property that's built approximately 500 feet back, and the driveway is, there, and I believe it's 30 by 40, and it's been there for, I think, over 8 to 10 years, nicely maintained. And then this driveway that we're talking about is right adjacent to that. And as I'm hearing from those two neighbors, that there are plow trucks that come down there, they do go down there and
300 feet.
push it out.
Okay, so we just could.
They do mow it down there.
Okay.
And that's why I've left this,
So
because
essentially, we have Sunset Valley Lane is essentially a maintained gravel road for 300 feet.
Correct.
Okay. And I think what you're asking for is for us to make that into a gravel road a little bit farther.
800 feet
800
would be
feet.
nice,
Okay.
They are already really maintaining it or pushing it, it seems, from what we've heard and seen, up to about 600 feet.
Okay.
And the property is 65 and 65, there's 130, so it's not much more.
Okay.
Okay,
Now, I can't promise anything right now, but let me look into it.
Thank you.
And I'll get back to you.
appreciate it very
Okay.
much.
Just
Okay.
make sure that we have your name and number, or is it on that deal there?
Yes,
I
I
believe
believe
it is.
that right there, and then stay in touch. I guess it's in your hands now?
Yep.
Yes,
And,
I'll take the initiative to look into it and see what can be done.
We-
It may cost to have that upgraded to a gravel road. And it's not in our budget cycle right now, but,
If it is solid rock and gravel now, solid, I mean, not dusty, gnarly, flying in the wind stuff.
solid to you
But-
is not necessarily solid to that guy over there. So, I have to get by his.
Back to your
his
biggest
evaluation.
truck down there and see if it'll hold it.
Yeah.
That would be my challenge.
yeah.
Your biggest truck.
Okay, I'll get back to you.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, Council.
Good presentation.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to come before?
We're having a major skunk issue.
I'm sorry?
We're having a major skunk issue
Oh,
in the resort area,
okay.
Indian Hill particularly.
Well,
And they had, a couple of people had meetings with the resort yesterday. Mr. Spizo, Bob, was amiable to working together and try to resolve the issue. But their maintenance guy, Jeff Johnson, is like, oh, no, we caught the mama skunk, so we're good. Yeah, well, no.
Yeah.
The major issue is they have their grease waste right behind the cabins on Indian Hill.
oh,
And you talk to an exterminator, they say, that's a candy store. As long as the grease is there, the skunks are gonna be there. Okay, my grandson, we have friends that have the cabin right under the water tower on Indian Hill. We were there a couple weeks ago when we were leaving, and he was ahead of us. He walked out by the road where our golf cart was, and there was a skunk there. He was terrified, almost got sprayed, could have gotten bitten. I had to sleep in the bedroom with him that night because he was just freaked out. It's a major problem. It's been going on since at least last year.
Okay.
Several of the people in Indian Hill, one in particular, has spent a lot of money having these skunks exterminated, caught, and relocated. And the resort is the one that's causing the issue. They need to move, you need to do like maybe an ordinance that they need to move that grease and garbage area farther away from residences.
Yeah.
It's way too close. I don't know what, I'm terrible at measurements, but I've got pictures. It's right, behind the road that goes behind those cabins on Indian.
Right,
Yep.
and unfortunately, the thing is that we don't really have a whole lot of cognizance up there, since that is resort property.
It's city property.
I'm with her on this. I'm on Indian Hill,
Okay,
and that's privately owned up there.
oh, I thought it was all
No, we all own those.
you all own those?
Right.
Okay,
Correct.
I
okay.
myself have caught 17 skunks
Yeah.
under my cabins, those little tiny cabins,
Yeah,
within the last year.
Okay, well, I don't want to get this too much out of hand. The fact that they're being attracted to the garbage, from the resort, I mean, that is the big issue, and that has to be addressed, with the resort.
That's what we're asking.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that is not, the city issue, other than, we don't have anything that controls that, do we, Jeff?
No, but we can certainly continue to talk with
I can talk
resort.
to Bob.
Well, I talked to an inspector from the state health department last week, and there's nothing that regulates on the state books. I haven't talked to
Right.
Crow Wing County yet, as far, but in my mind, it shouldn't be it should be a no-brainer as far as that stuff should not be that close to residential properties. We're talking garbage and grease, and we've got pictures of open buckets of grease. And
Okay,
they said they were gonna get rid of the buckets, but you still got a dumpster down there that they put grease in.
yeah,
Well, it gets spilled all over the place. And they did get a compactor for their trash. So, I've got pictures of overflowing dumpsters too.
yeah.
Yeah, still.
I was at the meeting.
Okay, can you come up to the microphone and then give your name and
My name
everything?
is Sandy Loglin. I went to the meeting to talk to Breezy to see if we could all work together, to see how we could somehow work together to get rid of these skunks. And Breezy was just not helpful at all. What we asked was, could you build a shed? Could you do something that contains that grease? Even if you leave it where it's at, we'd like to have it moved away. But so that it isn't like they say, a big candy store for all these skunks. You can't even be outside at night up there, literally, because it's so bad. It's 5 sprays a night. And so we went to Breezy. Breezy's thought was, why don't you, Sandy, keep collecting the skunks, pay for the skunks, right, to be hauled away, but take them out to the island. I'm supposed to pay for them to go, I thought, maybe I'll use the Breezy Bell, So, but, so there's not a lot of help there. We work with them somehow. We're trying, we've all, tried to skunk-proof our places, put a lot of money into it. I paid a lot of money for, again, to have them trapped and moved. It doesn't matter. I've caught 17 in my cabins. So we're just asking for some kind of help with the city. We don't even know what to do next, is really what it is.
Let me talk to Bob Spizo directly,
Okay,
and
okay.
maybe that will have a little bit more weight.
All right.
I'll give him a call this week.
Great, thank you.
Is there anybody else that wishes to come before an open forum?
Can I have a question of her, of the two? wherever they went?
Yeah.
One, there you are. Have you had an odor problem?
Oh.
I want to qualify it, mind you. Has anybody been sprayed?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you very much.
So that closes the open forum. Next, we have the mayor and city council reports. We did have a budget meeting this week, and I'm happy to say the city is in pretty good shape from a budget standpoint. We have good cash flow. We're on budget for this year. We're just starting the process for doing the 2018 budget, and that seems to be going pretty well. We'll be having that finalized in the next couple of months here, and it will be final approval in the December meeting. Council members, Councilman Bakken.
Only an apology for not being there, Mr. Mayor, and to the public. My first one, by the way. I didn't read my emails. Secondly, I agree with what the mayor says. The state of the city of Breezy Point is very good. That's all I have to say.
Councilman Ball.
I don't have anything to report.
Okay. Councilman Mitchell.
Yes, the Heartland Cable Commission met July 17th. For those of you who don't know what they do, the Cable Commission is a franchise, handles franchise fees for the cable companies. And in this case, Charter Communications, City of Breezy, Jenkins, Pequot, Jenkins Township, Pelican Township are all members of this commission. Last year, the commission collected a total of $16,329 in fees, including $64 of interest. Of this, the City of Breezy Point actually, through subscriptions, they collected $7,939, of which this year, City of Breezy should be receiving a check for $6,846. They also have given out or approved 5 scholarships for a total of $8,000, of which I think 3 are Pequot, and the other 2, I'm not sure where they were from. There was none from Breezy. I don't know how many teenagers we have in this city, but at any rate, they're going to pay for these scholarships. And the other thing is they keep a $50,000 reserve for any legal fees or problems to protect the commission, and so doing so, I'm sure it helps protect the city. So that's my report.
Thank you. Councilman Maroney.
I'd like to congratulate the chief and the department on a successful inaugural Night to Unite on Tuesday the 1st, was it? Trying to or 2nd. I thought it was a great event. We had Lifelink Air Care come in with a helicopter, land in the ball field here. We had an officer giving rides on the UTV. Fire demonstration was here with Pequot Lakes Fire. So I thought it was a successful event and more to build on for the years to come. So thank you for that. One other thing just to mention, we're going to be talking about it later as far as data practices for the police department, but we did have an audit performed for our automated license plate reader. This was an effort from NJPA that came in and performed the audit, and they checked a number of things for maintaining log use, records. We're required to make sure all the data is properly classified, how it is used, how it is properly destroyed, and we got a commendment that we're meeting all the elements to meet in place for the compliance, minus one thing which we have on the agenda for tonight to come fully into compliance. So that was another
About that later.
great mark for that.
And I was remiss, I was going to mention the night out as well, because I was there, and it was first off, it was a beautiful night. We were supposed to get rain, it went right by us. So that was just, the chief laid down the law and said there will be no rain, and there wasn't. So everybody complied. Next order of business is the planning and zoning changes. This ordinance 1703 has been, is a culmination of several changes that the planning and zoning has been discussing, and they consolidated everything into one update. Probably one of the major things in there is changing the setbacks for the airport zone, making it easier for building hangars that will be wide enough to get airplanes into. I'm not going to go through all of the changes. There's several pages. It almost looks like a planning and zoning meeting minutes, but there's considerable stuff there that is general minor improvements and minor changes to the existing ordinances. So at this point, I will entertain a motion to approve 1703, and then we can have some discussion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Councilman Maroney, as liaison, I'll start with you.
We discussed a lot of these items pretty in detail. I've got nothing further to add unless anybody has any further questions of Joe or myself.
Okay. Councilman Mitchell.
Right now, the minimum is 30 feet between buildings, is that correct? 15 feet from the property line for the building?
Depending on what zone you're in, yes.
Well, we're talking about the airport, correct?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's 15.
It's 50, the current setback, side yard setback is 15, yes.
And this is gonna move it till 10, so there'll be 20 foot between them.
If they build to the setback, correct.
All right,
And basically, the reason for that was that with the width of the lots out there, you can't get an airplane through many of the doors.
right, the wingspan is a
Right.
problem, I understand, okay. All right,
Okay. Councilman Ball.
Yeah, I just had a question about section 153.039, the resort commercial, the changes to that. Just if it's missing some words, because it, as edited, it just goes into, it is the intent of this district to establish and maintain a district consisting resort,
It should be consisting of.
consisting.
Of got stricken, I'm sorry.
Okay, and so if you include of, it says resort related and non-resort related, including resorts. Should that be resort and non-resort related businesses, or what is the? Or you see if there's edits made. I just want to make sure that those get made to that section.
Well,
I think it's missing a.
Yeah, I think business is a good, we were looking at the language, it shouldn't be in there, not the language that was already there. But I have no problem with changing that second resorts to businesses.
No, I mean resort related and non-resort related. Something, including resorts, retail.
About including retail, we'll just scratch that second resorts.
So, okay.
Would that work?
Well, I think it's still missing something.
Consisting of resort-related and non-resort related retail rental units. If you just strike that,
Okay.
that other resorts. Okay,
Yeah, that should be fine.
thank you.
Yeah. And then I just had a quick question. Were there any other changes that the planning commission was entertaining with these sections, or is this their final?
This is it for now.
Okay.
This was like, 4 different things that happened over the course of a year that they finally said, let's just do it.
Okay. Otherwise, I have no other
Okay.
questions.
Councilman Blackman.
No, sir, none.
Okay, so I think we will, I'd like to see the motion withdrawn and then have the motion to approve as revised per,
Or amended, yeah.
or amended as per the,
I'll withdraw my motion and
Withdraw your
to
second.
read as per the mayor stated.
can I ask a question?
yes.
This also include the posting banners along the road and that type of thing? If it's gonna stay at 21 days, are we gonna start enforcing it?
Hopefully.
That's the intent.
That's the intent.
Okay. I mean, I just asked because I know there was a problem that was stated in here.
That's the reason for changing it.
Okay.
It's been moved and second to approve the 1703 as amended. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? 1703 is approved. Entertain a motion to publish the summary.
So move.
Is there a second?
2.
All those in favor of publishing the cemeteries summary, say aye.
Aye.
Public safety building roof repairs. We're in the process of replacing the roof on the public safety building, and we have been incurring problems as we've been taking off the old shingles and finding rotten boards and stuff that needs to be fixed. Or basically, it has to be fixed because we're right in the middle of the project. And these were not foreseen because they were hidden by the shingles. So we have wood repair of $2,000, soffit and fascia replacement of $86.20, and replacing the gutters with seamless gutters, totaling $1,500 for a total of $12,120. I'll entertain a motion to approve the repairs to the public safety building, and then we'll have discussion.
So moved.
Okay.
Councilman Baca, let's start with you. Any
I have
comments?
nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Ball.
I don't have anything.
Councilman Mitchell.
Is Hickston going to do that repair as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Councilman Maroney.
No further questions or comments?
All those in favor of approving the additional funds for the public safety building totaling $12,120, say aye.
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 Those opposed? Next item of business is lift station number 1 control panel replacement. The control panel for lift station number 1 was installed in 1978, which makes it about 40 years old. And it's been working just fine. However, it is approaching its end of service life. And Joe Zierden has looked into replacing that control system, and he has selected quality control integration for a total of $22,890. I will entertain a motion to approve the upgrade of the control for the number 1 lift station.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Maroney, any comments?
One question of Joe, if you may, Joe. The 3,000 they have in the budget, and your memo said that it kind of has fluctuated. What can you tell us what has been the reason for the fluctuation from before? Just miscellaneous parts and, okay, so.
Correct.
Nothing like they walked in and go, oh my gosh, we've never seen this before?
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Typically, extra wire, they have to install new wire, new conduit, whether or not they can reuse what's there, that sort of thing. I don't expect to see that electrical price fluctuate much more than 50%, which regardless, it's
Still far cheaper.
far cheaper. Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilman Mitchell.
Yeah, Joe, I have a question. The total control systems, they list things that do not include, of which one is demolition, concrete pad for the new paddle bonds. Under the quality control integration, they don't list any of those things. Like the concrete pad, is that something you're going to do, or?
Yes.
So some of that work will be done by the city?
Yes, we will remove the old panel, prep a new pad. It's relatively small for, but essentially it's just the differences in the two quotes. They're essentially doing the same work.
Okay.
Ball.
I have no other, no questions.
Councilman Bakken.
No questions.
All those in favor of accepting the bid of $22,890 from Quality Control Integration, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The bid is accepted. Data on the policy on data security breach. Councilman Maroney alluded to this a little bit earlier. It is a written policy on how we handle the data, what we do with it, responsibilities. It's a pretty short policy. It is required due to an audit we had done by NJPA for those agencies that use the license plate reader technology. I will entertain a motion to adopt the data security breach policy.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Councilman Maroney, I'll start with you since you seem to be the most familiar with it.
Really, it's a housekeeping item, getting all of our data practices together and get it documented.
Councilman Mitchell.
Well, I'm just wondering, how is that information stored and how long is it kept?
It's a computer program, and the computer automatically deletes the information after 60 days,
Okay.
as required by statute.
Okay.
Councilman Ball.
No comments.
Councilman Bakken.
Nothing.
All those in favor of adopting the data security breach policy, please say aye.
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 Opposed? The policy is adopted. I do have one thing that I would like to comment on. From an administrative standpoint, this is a very nice policy. However, if I put my IT hat on, this is a policy that's very difficult to control. What it is asking for here, if you read the fine print, it wants to know who accessed the files if a data breach occurs. And I don't think we have that fidelity built into our network. To do so requires an order of magnitude more fidelity in the network itself. I don't think anybody can comply with this as far as being able to say who accessed what file. So if we do have a data breach, essentially every file that's on the server is going to be suspect. So every name that you have in there would be, we would have to contact. There would be no limiting it.
We have a very expensive Cisco firewall that is separate from the city, so nothing's perfect, but
The whole idea of data breach is that they got through the firewall. So once they get through the firewall, every file is suspect. And I just say that from experience because when I was in a previous life, when I was working at the nuclear power plant, we did have a data breach. Well, actually, it was a file that shouldn't have been in a public directory. And the managers all asked, who has access to this file? And our IT managers just kind of laughed because that fidelity is not built into anything. It has the capability of doing it, but we don't have the network power to do that. So the policy is great. Implementation of the policy may be something else. Our last order of business is a real plus. The city was kind of surprised by a donation of $10,000 made by Patricia Keene. And she's stating her appreciation for the police department in helping her out. And so what we have before us is a donation of $10,000, and I'll entertain a motion to accept that $10,000 gift.
I'll make that motion to approve the accepting of the 10,000 donation with a letter to follow up in appreciation to Patricia Keene.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Discussion. Councilman Maroney.
Nothing further to add.
Councilman Mitchell.
Well, she did state that she wanted the money to go to the police
Yes,
department.
correct.
Okay.
Councilman Ball. Councilman Bakken.
Thank you. No, sir.
And so all those in favor, say aye.
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 And the donation is accepted and the letter has already been written and signed. So that ends our, one other thing is that in your agenda, it says the upcoming minutes, or upcoming minutes and dates at the bottom. The city council meeting listed as September 4th is actually going to be September 5th due to Labor Day.
Sorry.
Yep. So the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.